Hey guys, what is going on? Devon here. Hope you guys are having a good day so far, and welcome back to another installment of Kingdom Hearts 101. I am joined, per usual, by the man, the myth, the beard, Mr. Josh Music. Josh, say hello.
Hello, Josh. Say hello.
Hello! Hi! We're back! Josh, we are now talking today about the next Kingdom Hearts game, the second game in the so-called handheld trilogy, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. Kind of. So, for Birth by Sleep, we're going to be doing things a little bit differently. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but it's August. and we're slowly running out of time to finish all of these games before Josh and I get hella busy. And because Birth by Sleep is probably the longest game that we're going to be playing through, it would take quite a while before we eventually get this episode out. However, Birth by Sleep, in particular, presented a very special opportunity, a very unique opportunity. For those not in the know, Birth by Sleep was a PSP game released in 2010 and is a prequel to the original Kingdom Hearts and follows three new characters, Terra, Ventus, and Aqua. All three are Keyblade wielders who influence the future events of the games, and because all three of them are Keyblade wielders, that means all three of them are playable across three separate campaigns. So what we've decided is that all three of those campaigns will be their own separate episode of the podcast. So this episode, we'll be talking about everything to do with Terra's campaign. Next episode, we will be talking about Ventus's campaign. And then the episode after that, we'll be talking about Aqua's campaign as well as the game overall. That way you guys will get more episodes more frequently for Birth by Sleep, and you can technically consider this Josh's opinion on the game in real time. So it's pretty exciting. Yeah. So like I said, today we're going to talk about Terra's campaign, get Josh's early impressions on the game, and get his predictions on what to expect with the future of this game specifically. So, with that said, Josh, in general, what were your thoughts on Terra's campaign, as well as your early impressions for Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep?
So far, I think this is probably my favorite Kingdom Hearts game overall.
What?
It's, honestly, the combat is ridiculously fun. This is my favorite setup for combat. Story-wise, it could be, I'm only a third of the way complete of the whole game, but Terra's campaign's a little bit dry, but other than that, like, overall, it's still really good. Like, I wouldn't say, like, I was, like, falling asleep. It definitely just was a few times where it was just like, okay, what does this have to do with the overall, like, story? Like, let's kind of move it on a little bit. Like, the part where, to get into the story a little bit, like, the part where he goes to, is it Disney Town? Is that the correct name?
Yes.
Yes, so Disney Town where he does, like, the kart racing, it's like...
The Mario Kart ripoff?
Yeah, it's like... Okay, why... This feels like the Atlantica world of the game. It's like... This was just kind of an extra thing. But other than that, like, overall, like, the story I found was still really good, because you're like... you're starting to piece together... Because especially the secret film from KH2, this really, like, filled in the gaps of, like, everything. So the story-wise, I thought it was good. It was just a little bit, like, slow and a little bit dry in spots, but overall, like, I found it really interesting. It was kind of cool to see. I felt like Terra was a good mix between, like, personality-wise, between... He reminded me of Sora and Riku, like, almost straight down the middle. Like, the fact that, yes, he does want to get more powerful, and the darkness is, like, trying to consume him, but he's not so far consumed like like Riku was. Riku, like, the first game, like, totally, like, let it consume him almost completely. So he kind of reminded me of a cool in-between, which I like. I kind of really like his character. And the fact that he ends up as, like, the most badass at the end. Literally so angry. He's like, I ain't dying.
The man too angry to die.
becomes a suit of armor.
Yeah, he becomes the lingering will that you fight in Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. We now know why he's so angry.
Yes. So far, I really like his character. I hope that he shows up some more in the later games, but we'll find out. Combat though.
Yeah, let's talk about combat real
Oh
quick.
my freaking god! This is what I wanted from the combat system this whole time, and it feels amazing. Like, you ever like have like, for example, Christmas or birthday or like a holiday where you get gifts? I guess I'm trying to like please the international fans here with saying like holidays in
Yeah,
general.
yeah.
Okay, let's just say like a time that you would get a gift.
Yeah.
And you get a gift from your family that you did not expect, but turned out to be so amazing that you didn't even know you wanted until you had it. That was what the combat system was. That's like, because I had a hard time figuring out what exactly I wanted from it. Because there was parts in the previous games that were like, you know, some of it was good, some of it was not so good, at least for me. But this nailed it on the head. I like that you can customize all your like commands. You can have literally, you can take all of them away. You can play like as hard as you want or as easy as you want. You can base it more magic. You can base it more physical. And then you got your D-Link on top of that, and the focus abilities, which like you could literally use them or not use them. You can use a combination. Like I loved, like it was so. This is what I felt like the combat system really needed. I mean, it does have like I was playing on the easiest difficulty, so I'm assuming like if you ramp up the difficulty, it would get a little bit more messy as you try to manage things and figure out what works best. But this overall, I felt like 'cause in the earlier games, I don't know how many times I'd have to set up like shortcuts for stuff and run out of room because you can only have 4 quick slots for your magic slash healing, or sorry, magic slash items.
Yeah.
And then trying to level up drive forms and stuff like that, where you couldn't really take away, like, say if I wanted to do just Valor, that's the only thing I want to focus on. I can't take away, like, all the other forms just to focus on Valor. It's like, no, you have to scroll through and, like, worry about accidentally hitting it in the middle of combat, and it's just like, like, yes, I like having all these forms, they're cool, but like, let me take away when I want to focus on something. Like, it's too distracting, like, especially in the middle of combat. It's like, it's a small gripe, but this hits it on the head. The combat system, favorite combat system besides maybe the first game, but the first game was so streamlined, like, it was so simple, like, you kind of can't really get upset with something so simple. Like, this I found like had a good balance between having lots of options, but also being able to keep it simplified as much as you wanted. So this was, honestly, combat-wise, I'm really enjoying this. Like, I hate to say, like, I kind of wanted to play on a hard... Actually, is that possible to go to a higher difficulty for the next...
We might be able to try. Actually, yeah, we probably might be able to go high. We might be able to try on a higher difficulty.
Well, we can do it for a little bit, and if it ends up being just too much, I can always back it down, I guess. But
Yeah, that's true.
I really thoroughly enjoyed
definitely
it.
Definitely when we try Ventuses, you can try it on a higher difficulty if you want to.
I kind of wanted to like just challenge myself a little bit because like I found it like it was so fun. I found it like easy because I was kept changing things.
Then again, you were playing as the most powerful character.
That's true too.
Because Terra's something you'll find across all 3 characters is that they all have different play styles. So Terra is very much focuses on strength, so all of his attacks like hit really hard and whatnot. Ventus plays very quick. He's kind of he focuses a lot on speed attacks and stuff like that. So his attacks do a little bit of damage, and so does his magic, but he's very quick to attack. And then Aqua, her strength is not very good, but her magic is godlike. It's really good. So it'll be interesting to see experiment with it and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for that, we have to thank. Sorry, for that we have to just a little extra history, I guess, because the reason I guess they decided to change things up. One, because it was on a handheld device, but also because it was a new development team that was actually heading it. So, hope I'm saying this right. SquareEnix Product Development Division 1 they handled development on both Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2 for the most part. So that's kind of why they play relatively the same. That they're colloquially known as the Tokyo team because they're based in Tokyo. However, that team, when Nomura went to work on Final Fantasy Versus 13, he took most, if not all, of that crew with him. So instead, the team that took over the rest of Kingdom Hearts, that took on the next game, was SquareEnix Business Division 3. Yeah. SquareEnix Business Division 3. I can't speak today. Colloquially known by the fan base as the Osaka team. These guys they actually started on Rechain of Memories, and then Birth by Sleep was like their first new Kingdom Hearts game, and every single game afterwards they have taken care of. So they are officially the Kingdom Hearts team. And people have opinions on Osaka team, which I found really interesting when you told me that this was your favorite game in terms of gameplay, which I also really like Birth by Sleep in terms of its gameplay. Osaka team's gameplay is very divisive because there are a lot of people that prefer Tokyo team's gameplay, specifically Kingdom Hearts 2, because of how fast and fluid it is with like its movement abilities and stuff like that, which is really good. And some people take issue with Osaka teams, and not necessarily with the command deck itself, but mostly movement of the characters. Like the term floaty is thrown around a lot. Like we kind of experienced it when you were playing as Terra, like when you're in midair and you throw a combo, you kind of float in the air a bit. But honestly, I don't think it really bothered me that much. I can understand if you were like speedrunning the game and stuff like that, it'd be kind of rough, but I don't know, man. I find the game fun, so really that's what it matters to me, I guess.
That's what's kind of challenging too when you have a game series that I can understand maybe like people that have played the previous games and gotten used to how exactly they control, and then someone that might have at the time bought a PSP and been like, oh sweet, another Kingdom Hearts game, and then they play it and they'd be like, what the hell happened? Like they'd be totally not used to it at all.
Yeah, and I can even understand on a PSP it probably wouldn't feel that bad, but I can kind of understand when you transfer it over to PS3 and PS4 when you're used to playing a console Kingdom Hearts game a specific way, and now you're playing the mobile version on it. It's just like, oh, this controls like ass. Like I get that, but
Well, I wouldn't say ass, but like.
sorry about that. Let's resume. Sorry, you were saying, Josh.
I wouldn't say like it. Well, for me as the average player, I'd say quote unquote average player, it did not control like ass. I can see it, like you said, for a speedrunner. Yes, it might have not been as tight as the previous games, but it's just different. And that's why I was saying earlier, like I could see some people's frustrations because different doesn't always mean better. It means like something you have to get used to again. And I can see where people's frustrations might come from. For me, we're literally like, I'm not knowing anything. I'm coming into every game completely new with like, some exceptions like the first game and the second game. I don't know what to expect. So like having something new, and this, like I said, this one's favorite overall in terms of gameplay. Story, a little bit of tweaking, but I still really like the story so far. It'll be interesting to see what the other two characters are. But yeah. Oh, the other thing is too, so they got rid of summons.
Yeah. Instead they have D-Links instead.
Which is basically the same thing.
Yeah, it's kind of the same.
Except, if I remember correctly, the summons would...
The summons assist you in battle, whereas with D-Links, you're kind of taking... Your command deck is changed to sort of reflect the character's power that you're taking, I guess.
Which... I don't know. Like, either or, those are both fairly good. I rarely use the summons because most of them were passive, like healing stuff. Like, this, like, you can pick... Most of them were attack based, although some of them, like Aqua, was more like there was some healing stuff in it. The other thing I just realized too, there was no because this is a three campaign. No support characters except for. No, there was one battle that
Yeah, occasionally you'll have scenes where you'll have uh, battles that you'll have people fighting alongside you, but yeah, for the most part, you are on your own.
Yeah, which is interesting too. Yeah, other than that, I think the oh man, I'm losing my train of thought.
It's all right.
Oh, for in terms of the two division teams, either or, like I respect what they do. It's a lot of work to put into a video game, and I like either or style. I really liked how this one was more streamlined. In my like, not only was it more, actually, I don't know if it would be, if I could say overall streamlined. The ability to streamline it, because like I said, you've got the D links, which is similar to summons, and then you've got I guess the focus would be kind of similar to a drive form. Not really.
I would say actually the command styles are probably closer to dry forms.
Yeah. What would I guess focus would be its own thing, but I guess the closest thing would be magic.
Yeah.
/ items shortcuts. But like in terms of like having three different ways of attacking / doing an action, it's the same, but you can choose what to have and what not when it comes to the D-links and the so many terminology, my brain's just turning to mush. D-links and the command deck. You can kind of pick and choose exactly what you want. The other games I found, like, yes, you can kind of choose what you want to use, but like
it's all there already
in your face.
Yeah.
Yes, which is a little distracting. I guess that's my big, cause in terms of like, but on the plus side, it's more tight to control, so I can see where both people would like it. But yeah, I feel like I should probably move on away from the combat. I keep talking about it. Like, I just really like it a lot, but like, so story, a little bit dry in some places. Overall, pretty good. Combat, I liked. Yes, it's not as tight, but I like the fact that you can pick and choose like freely on what you want. I guess we can go now on predictions.
I actually kind of want to still focus on story for a quick second, because Josh, you thought you saw Star Wars parallels before.
Oh my freaking god.
You thought there were Star Wars parallels before?
It is so scary. Like, I get, well, because Star Wars takes a lot of, like, the original Star Wars, the very first one, A New Hope, borrows a lot from classic literature to begin with, so it's pretty hard to escape, like, good versus evil, like, that whole idea. Like, that, if you're gonna have a story, that you're always gonna have a character comes into conflict, the conflict gets resolved, that's the end. Like, that's pretty much the thing. One of the biggest things is good versus evil. But it's so weird, like, even to the fact that we have Terra being controlled by the darkness, aka the dark side, and becoming like basically almost an apprentice at one point, listening to to his master, even though he's leading him down the wrong side. And it's just like, there's space travel. There's like, oh my god,
this
like,
is straight up the prequels.
Yeah, it's so scary how close it is to Star Wars. It's kind of funny. I guess you know what? My one gripe so far. What, Mickey is the new Maleficent. He just shows up and in pieces. It's like yeah, he shows up in the last battle, but like that was like what happens? He just shows up and then
I can't really say without spoiling the other campaign.
Okay,
so,
I'm hoping
because I will say he does show up again.
I'm hoping he does something, but like you just see him kind of show up with his keyblade and look up, and it's like then he disappears. There's not shown.
Yeah.
So I guess that would be my my only gripe about it so far. It's like Mickey is so disappointing in this one. He's just a tease. He shows up and it's like, oh yeah, remember this is a Disney property, and then just like disappears.
Haha.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh, another character. We finally know who Nosferatu is.
yes.
His name is Xehanort.
I feel bad because I was just thinking before we started recording this one, it's like I should have went back and re-listened to the last podcast to see what my predictions are because I already forget them. I do remember like bits and pieces, but I don't remember specifically what I said. So, do you remember? Like I remember saying like that guy is a bad guy, but I don't remember.
he's. I do remember you say he's a bad guy, and he's got to have something like really important going on with the story. Fuck yeah, he's really important. He has the same name as the guy who ends up turning into fake Ansem and Xemnas. What? And we also learn how he became a young guy because he possesses Terra at the end of the game.
So you know what's funny? I think if I remember correctly, I think I said that those three. I said they might possibly be a reincarnation of Sora, Riku, and Kairi. I was kind of on the nose, but not with them. The fact that Xehanort gets resurrected.
More or less,
Because I was like, if he's the bad guy, like, he's an old dude, wait a minute, something's weird.
Screwy here.
Yeah, you think he'd be dead by now. But, yeah.
Actually, yeah, that also explains... we also learn how exactly they... Well, we're kind of starting to learn how exactly this trio relates to Sora, Riku, and Kairi, because we see Terra kind of pass down his Keyblade to Riku, which kind of explains how Riku is able to wield a Keyblade in later games. So,
Which I thought was interesting too. That it's kind of weird if you think about it. The fact that Terra, who is bordering on darkness, hands Riku the Keyblade, and Riku has that issue of fighting with the darkness.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
Yeah. Well, it's weird because he says like, "Oh, that boy has a lot of light in him," and at first you think he's talking possibly about Sora, but no, he looks directly at Riku, and then he ends up giving Riku the Keyblade. It's like, huh? Maybe it's sort of like the blind leading the blind. The one that has darkness within him seeks other darkness within him, like within them. Even if he's confused and thinks that that's their light, but yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah.
I kind of like that little nod, and it will be interesting to see what happens in the future. The other thing too, this is totally off topic for well, kind of sort of. I just realized too the fact that the creator loves trios.
Yeah,
Nomura loves trios,
Yeah.
and the fact that, as far as I know, after we have Kingdom Hearts 3, and then there'll be a new whole. The way you said, you haven't given me spoilers, but you said the way that Kingdom Hearts 3 ends, it's gonna be the next will be something totally different. Like that's the end.
It is the end of this saga.
So isn't it kind of funny? Like I was thinking about that. Him and Gabe Newell should team up. So they can finally do Half-Life 3.
Finally!
Because Nomura likes threes.
Yes.
No, but I thought that was kind of funny. I was thinking like, oh yeah, and then there's a third game, and that's the end of the series, at least with this storyline. But yeah, that was totally random. I guess so. Some of my predictions come true. I'd have to re-listen to the podcast from the last one because I don't remember anything else other than like I kind of said like, oh, I feel like this trio might be like reincarnated because of the whole Keyblade War. No, not really, but like there is a resurrection, but with the villain. I was right that Nosferatu was definitely the villain. And it'd be kind of interesting to see because at least with this end of this campaign with Terra, we don't see what happens to what's his name? Ventus. You don't see what happens. You know he goes and fights Aqua and Ven, but you don't see what exactly happens. So
you're talking about
Veneta.
Yeah,
Ventus.
Vanitas.
Veneta's fighting Ventus and Aqua. You know he goes and does that, but like you don't see what happens. So that will be interesting to see in the future. yeah, other than that, I can't think of any other predictions I had from the past podcast. I honestly, I can't remember anything. So I guess is there anything else you want to ask me before we move on to predictions?
I guess quickly, I don't know, what was your favorite world in Kingdom Hearts? Birth by Sleep?
Oh god, they went so fast.
Yeah, the pacing like moves at like a quick. Like we started Birth by Sleep yesterday. Like yesterday evening, we just beat it today in the afternoon. Like this game moves.
It was 7 hours.
Yeah, 7 hours.
Which, if you think about it, we probably played 3.5 yesterday and about 3.5 today.
Yeah.
Probably somewhere in there. So like, didn't feel that long. It went by really quick. At least with like just that campaign. I guess Stitch's like Lilo and Stitch, like the whole
the deep space,
but like I can't even say that because they go by so fast, and I get it was a portable console game, and you can only put so much detail because of limited hardware, but it wasn't like the other games where you'd have lots of. See, that's. I guess actually, now I think about that, would be my one gripe about this game. Now that I really think about it hard, was the fact that they had, again, worlds, but because of limited hardware, they can only put so much. At least with Chain of Memories, it was just Castle Oblivion. So, yes, it was kind of bland, but at least you could flesh out that single world that you had. With this, it's like, yes, there's lots of worlds, but none of them were fleshed out that well. They're like, maybe a couple different places per world, like in terms of like areas to walk around, and then that's it.
Yeah, I would say we spent like maybe 20 minutes to a half hour in each world, and then we're just gone.
I guess, yeah, the Lilo and Stitch would be probably because it's new. The Alice in Wonderland was also pretty cool, but again, like, well, we'll have to see, because you did mention that there was an area that I wanted to go through, but I could not. And you said, oh, maybe because later on, there was another character you'll go down there. So
it'll probably be like once you play through it again.
It's hard to say until I finally beat all three, but for right now, that's I guess, actually the biggest thing that now I put more thought into it is the fact that the worlds aren't really fleshed out when you play just by one character for the campaign.
Okay.
I can't, like, it's understandable. I can understand why, but I felt like maybe they should have done kind of more like a Chain of Memories thing with maybe just have a few worlds and try to flesh them out as best you can, instead of just, because how many, there's at least 7 to 10
I think
worlds?
there's, geez, now I need to think about it. 4, 5, I think there's like 12 worlds maybe in total, and I'm just like, yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot, but like, if you break it down world by world,
go by
like,
so fast.
So yeah,
yeah, I can't really. We talked a little bit about characters, and I guess we'll kind of learn more about them when we get into the other campaigns. But yeah, I guess to speak about the other characters as well as campaigns, I guess we can move on into predictions. Josh, what predictions do you have for Ventus's campaign of Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep?
I just wanted to bring up one thing because I didn't remember it. We have another new enemy type too.
Oh yeah, how did we skip over that?
I just thought of that.
Yeah, the Unversed.
I said it, I was kind of complaining about it and whining about it at first. Like, a third enemy type, like, why? But you said it'll become more prevalent later on, like, why there is. But
in fact, I think it's in Ventus's campaign that you'll learn a little bit more about where they come from. All we really know is that whereas Heartless feed off the darkness and Nobodies are nothingness, the Unversed are based off of negativity and negative emotions. So, I don't know.
So, like your ex-girlfriends.
Oh my god.
Or ex-boyfriends. We don't judge here.
Yeah, exactly.
Your exes. Let's just say exes in general. Yes. Sorry. It's just
That's all right.
That was an easy jab.
Yeah, predictions for Ventus's campaign then. What do you got, sir?
We'll find out more about those guys for sure.
Oh yeah.
Again, Nomura with the magic rule of 3.
Yeah.
No, I think we'll finally hopefully actually pick up 2 because he looks like another character.
Yeah, he looks like Roxas,
who happens to look like and resemble Sora. So we'll probably find out more, and that's actually another 3.
Yeah.
God. Nomura, stop with the threes. I have a feeling we'll kind of be able to piece together more on what's going on with him.
Mm-hmm.
Him and also his with Vanitas too.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that breaks the rule of 3. There's 4 technically.
Yeah.
So he's got to up it to 6 at some point with these guys.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like, well, actually, I'm hoping to see him. I have a prediction that you'll see more of him with Xehanort. I have a prediction, actually, for the rest of the game, him and Aqua as well. I feel like Xehanort is going to have a hand playing all 3 characters. Like, he's going to stick his grubby little hands and meddle with Ven and also Aqua as well. So I have a feeling like you're going to see more of where Ven came from involving Xehanort and Ven trying to figure out his past because he also has no memory when he first shows up. And yeah, that's my prediction, is him trying to piece together his memory and also figure out who he is. I think that's pretty much it. And then after that, Aqua will probably just be maybe a little bit of her growing up / training with Terra, and then also just trying to figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, other than that, I can't think of anything. It'd be interesting to see if Vanitas is also touched on, like maybe have a separate little mission with him. As, who knows? Probably not. They might do a later game with him. Maybe. Probably not. I
guess we'll find out.
I have a feeling probably not, though. But who knows? It'd be interesting because we also see someone who becomes a Heartless later in the game. It would be interesting to see more characters like that. I kind of want to see Axel before he becomes a Heartless. Also, kind of, it's funny. I also kind of want to see what Larxine's like before she became a Heartless.
Yeah.
I have a feeling like she is the most stuck up Chris ever, and I kind of want to see her. But I have a prediction. At least more characters that pre-Heartless will show up. I just don't know what. But yeah, my prediction, to kind of wrap that up, because I'm going all over the place. Ven's gonna try to remember who he is. You're gonna see more of Xehanort messing with these characters, and possibly more characters that before they become Heartless will show up. I guess that's the main 3.
Okay.
That's my main 3 predictions.
Awesome. I look forward to seeing those predictions come to light, and we will find out in the next campaign. Hopefully Ventus will not take us that long, and we'll hopefully be able to get these out pretty quick, but judging by how fast we got Terra's done, Ventus should probably be pretty quick to get done as well. So.
Or also, you gotta remind me too to just try to, if you know, I'm going into a room that's just got extras that I'm not gonna need.
Yeah.
There was a few times I was like, "Hey Devin, what's up there?" He's like, just a treasure chest with an item that you're probably not gonna need." So I've been spending 10-15 minutes trying to parkour my way up here for nothing.
You're telling me I spent all this time and energy?
I thought maybe it would be something usually you don't get keyblades and chests, stuff like that. But command deck.
Yeah,
moves.
I mean there were some chests where you could grab specific stuff, but it's been a while since I've played Birth by Sleep all the way through. But who knows? I should be able to help guide you a little bit better so that we're off.
I think next one I'm just gonna skip chests.
Really?
Except for the ones with the maps.
Yeah, that's true.
That are pretty obvious.
Yeah, very obvious. You see a big chest and you're just like, I wonder what this could be. It could be anything. It could be. Oh, it's a map. Okay, just that's great. That's wonderful. That's wonderful, guys. But yeah, I can't really think of anything else other than that. You got anything else left to say there, Josh?
Overall, so far, my favorite Kingdom Hearts game. It's a tough one because combat and we'll find out as I play more with the other characters and their play styles change up a little bit. But so far, combat is fantastic. I would say this is my favorite game involving combat. In terms of story, it's a little bit lacking, and I'd say probably Kingdom Hearts 2 has a way better story so far. Chain of Memories has a really good story too. That's a toss-up. But Kingdom Hearts 2, at least for the most part, is more straightforward. Chain of Memories, you're like, what in the hell is going on? You're like, just full of what? Yeah. So you're just so confused until like you get to the end and you're like, oh, I guess that's like, not to the end, but like, if you don't keep track, you can easily get confused in that one. So
I would probably say Birth by Sleep is kind of like that as well, because you have 3 campaigns to keep track of. Again, we have just completed one, so we're only seeing one side of the story right now. So possibly when we go through the other through the other campaigns and we start seeing the other character's side of each world and the overall arcing story, then it'll probably get a little bit clearer. Who knows?
Well, we're also playing in order too. Like, if you didn't play in order, would that really mess you up too?
Not really. I think Nomura has gone on record saying that it's easier to play Terra first, then Ventus, then Aqua, and players have just kind of gotten into the routine of playing it. But I'm pretty sure if you played them slightly out of order, it wouldn't be that rough. I think if I remember correctly, I think Aqua's the only one that I would usually recommend playing last. I won't say why, because spoiler reasons, but if you wanted to start with either Terra or Ventus, it wouldn't really matter. It's just usually people play as Terra because he's the easiest to control right out of the gate because he's so strong.
He's swole.
Did you see that 12-pack abs he's packing? Like, did you see that Chaos Ripper Keyblade with the 10 strength and -2 magic?
He's know when you know magic.
Oh, God. But, yeah, I think until we jump into the next one, I think that's all we really have to say about Terra's campaign. We might have more to add once we start going through more through the game. But other than that, I'd say that's about it for right now. Thank you, Josh, as always, for joining me.
It's been a pleasure.
Of course.
Always is.
Yes. And until then, I think we're going to jump into the next campaign. Thank you all so much for joining us for today's episode. If you like this video, hit that like button. It really helps the channel out, as well as comment below what your favorite aspect of Terra's campaign is in Kingdom Hearts 2, as well as subscribe for more episodes of the podcast. Hopefully they'll be coming out in a more frequent pace as we do Birth by Sleep. And as always, be sure to follow Shallow Shovel Productions on both Twitter and Instagram for more information on yours truly. And until next time, I'd say that's about it. Josh, you have anything left to say?
Come September, let's all get them aliens.
Oh yeah, buddy. Oh God.
They've got Kingdom Hearts 4 in Area 51. I know it.
Okay, I'm gonna be there day 1 then. When we decide to strike, I'll be with the Naruto runners. I'll
be with the Kyles.
Yeah, drinking all your Monster energy. Thank you guys as always for watching. May your heart be your guiding key. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.